Treat 4-1. What about a Fairy of the Night 11-2? Little Miss Gracie at 8 and Pout 33-1. Jazz Princess, your 2-1 favourite for the Ridgewood Pearl. It's coming up live and exclusive on At the Races. Best.
6 runners installed. Off and running in the Ridgewood Pearl, and they break away to a very level break with Royal Alchemist in the centre with Fairy of the Night. Jazz Princess is towards the stand side. Little Miss Gracie tracks them on the inner, and they're followed by Poot, and the back marker is Sweet Treat. So they race on now, taking them on the approach towards the elbow with Royal Alchemist on the outside, Pat Smullen. From Little Miss Gracie, Kieran Fallon on the inside of Fairy of the Night and Fran Berry. The three are followed up by Jazz Princess and John Murtha. Then comes Sweet Treat, Willie Soppel, and Poot Denny Grant, just the back marker of the 6. So they race off the elbow. Royal Alchemist, Fairy of the Night, and Little Miss Gracie are the leading 3. Tracked by Jazz Princess and Sweet Treat, with Poot just the back marker of the 6th, as they continue on their way now towards the halfway stage. And little change up front with Royal Alchemist towards the stand side of Fairy of the Night, and on the left Little Miss Gracie. Not much between the 3. Jazz Princess and Sweet Treat being followed by Poot as they pass the 3, and Royal Alchemist travelling in the lead now from on the far side. Little Miss Gracie, then Jazz Princess being driven up, and Poot makes ground as they race now towards the 2. The 6 runners covered by a little over a length as Jazz Princess is punched to the front, being followed now in the centre by Sweet Treat. On the outside, Royal Alchemist, Little Miss Gracie and Poot next. Jazz Princess on the stand rail is just the leader. Royal Alchemist, Sweet Treat and Little Miss Gracie as they race inside the last 200 yards now, and Royal Alchemist comes back to challenge Jazz Princess. Poot stays on the rail, and inside the last 100 yards it's hard work, and Poot, the outsider, is driven up by Denny Grant, and Poot's going to get the better of Jazz Princess, Royal Alchemist, Little Miss Gracie, Sweet Treat and Fairy of the Night.
Well, you sometimes get shock results on very soft ground, and we've seen one there. Pout, trained by John Murphy, the man best known, of course, for his handling of New Mill this season. The champion 2-mile chaser has proven he can do it on the flat here as well. It developed into a real war of attrition, dur slog from about 2 furlongs down. They were at it a long way out, and that just played into the hands of Pout, who had the stamina to reel in the leaders at the death. You can see here Royal Alchemist taking them along at this stage. Jazz Princess travelled like a winner for a long time, but it's an awful long way home in this testing ground, and as I say, they were racing very, very early indeed. You can see the eventual winner is just about last at this stage, Pout. And what a success as well for Danny Grant. Danny is rides a lot for Pat Flynn here in Ireland, and this would be much his biggest success. And very capable rider, as he's shown in the past. A real thrill for him. He got a nice spin up the rail, as we're about to see, because Jazz Princess, having looked as though she was going to go on and maybe win a race, she quickly began to tread water. Royal Alchemist looked as though she was going to then take the measure of Jazz Princess. Sweet Treat was in between them. You see the eventual winner here, Pout, looks as though she's about to be left behind, but it's pure stamina that comes into play at this stage. You can see Fairy of the Night just unable to handle the conditions, dropping away at the back, and Sweet Treat in the end has backpedaled rapidly, but Danny's got a nice bit up the rail. You can see Jazz Princess has got very, very tired indeed, hung off the rail. There's the gap for Pout to come through. And fair play to John Murphy as well for sticking with Danny Grant. He could have had a big name jockey, plenty of them sitting in the weighing room while this race was being run. He's brought a rating of about 90 into the race. Royal Alchemist was 103 and Jazz Princess 106, so it just gives you some idea of how the form book has been turned on its head. Splashing through the puddles there as they approach the furlong pole. And obviously with all the rain we've had, it probably started off quite loose ground earlier on in the day, but just getting tackier as it dries out, and that bit harder for the horses to get through. And as I say, this Daughter of Mamid, bred by the Corestone Partnership, is the one who's seen it out the best. Let's get the SPs from Matt. A shocker for the punters there, Matt.
Absolutely, Gary. Pout 40-1, your winner.